For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Emma Wagner. I do membership and outreach at the center. Thank you all for your continued support of the New Jersey Center for Nonprofits. And we are ready to go. If
All
our
right.
like
Well, Emma, I want to challenge you. I think we're definitely more excited than you for this. It's great to have us here. Thank you for inviting us and all that. And let's get started. All right. So, as Emma mentioned, we are doing a little riff on one of the presentation that we've done in the past. It's kind of Jeopardy style, but copyright, so maybe not. Uh, and we are happy to present to you Security, the best 45-minute cybersecurity awareness event ever. And by now, it might be more like 30, 35 minutes. We'll see. We'll skip around. Okay. Jumping in, just a little introduction about us. Myself, Justin King, and Jessica Peskay. We're both from RoundTable Technology. If you've not heard of RoundTable, which I'd be surprised, but if you haven't, we are a managed IT outsource provider that works specifically with nonprofits, which is why we're so happy to be here today. We love hearing about different missions and getting to help nonprofits with their technology. Jessica, do you have anything to add?
Oh, I'll just say that I'm Jessica. I'm a solutions consultant at Roundtable, so that just means I'm one of the first people that you talk to as you want to learn more about us. But I've also helped our clients with their cybersecurity best practices in my role as an account manager as well. So very excited. I always love talking about cybersecurity and just want to welcome everyone today.
Yeah, it is definitely one of our favorite topics, and cybersecurity awareness training is so important, which we'll get into why in a little bit later. Housekeeping notes. I don't think any of these are applicable, so let's skip that slide. All right. Security. Jeopardy. We have 5 topics today, a number of questions through all of them. Obviously, we're just going to kind of go through all the questions, and we might ask you for help. I might poll the audience. I might ask to phone a friend if you have an answer. But we will be putting forth some, cybersecurity best practices, some specific attacks, and all of those kind of things, just to get everyone more aware about what's out there, get you better prepared to face, all of those stuff, all that stuff. Moving forward, like I mentioned, security is a trivia game. Jessica is going to be our host today. I'm going to be kind of, I guess the what is it? What's it called? The player? I'll
The
be the player,
expert.
the
Sure.
expert. I'll be the expert. Okay.
Yes.
But I might need some help from all of you, so you can come off camera. You can put the answers in the chat, all of that when I ask for some help, and we'll just jump right into it.
Yes. So welcome to Security the Game. Our first category is going to be Brain Trust, which is all about social engineering. So players, they say knowledge is power, but in this category, hackers use what you know against you. And here we're going to look at the psychological tactics that bad actors use.
Oh no.
So we've got Brain Trust for 200. To gain a victim's trust, an attacker uses this technique to craft a fabricated scenario, such as pretending to be an IT auditor before asking for sensitive data.
All right. I'm
Do you know this one,
not
Justin?
sure. I might know it. It might also be hinted on the slide just for an easy one off the bat.
Yes.
Uh, any ideas from the audience of what this could be referring to?
Feel free to write it in the
Uh,
chat.
yeah. And it's okay if not. We haven't taught you anything yet. Oh, pretexting.
Joseph got it.
Joseph, how'd you get it?
That one was easy. We did
That's
give it
right.
away on the slide.
That's okay. We won't do that for all of them, but it's a
No.
nice warm up. So, what is pretexting is correct. So, unlike a simple phishing email, pretexting is referring to a long con, essentially, of the digital world, right? So, it focuses on building a believable foundation, aka the pretext, to lower a target's defenses. So the attacker, they might adopt a specific role and use insider language, either particular to your organization or to whatever they're trying to mimic to sound legitimate. And the goal of this is to establish trust. They're from a trusted source, ideally, or not ideally, but typically what they're trying to impersonate. They will request passwords, physical access, wire transfers for money, that kind of thing. Traditional phishing, which I assume most of us are familiar with, and we will go over a little bit later, is more of a throw something against the wall and see what sticks, shotgun style approach that targets large amounts of victims. And it's typical things that most of the population would respond to. So like a phishing example might be your Visa card has been compromised. You have to click this link, right? Who doesn't have a Visa card? Pretexting, on the other hand, it's typically more personalized and more information that is relevant to you. So an example could be a caller pretending to be from your company's IT department or your outsourced provider. They knew that name and they might say, we've detected unusual login activity. I need you to just confirm your username and then let me know that code that was sent to your phone. And so if you do have a multi-factor authentication method on the phone, they're going to ask for that and they're going to get into your account, right? So that's a little bit more targeted. That's what pretexting is. All right.
Thank you, Justin. Now we're at brain trust for 400. This cognitive shortcut causes people to prioritize immediate time-sensitive tasks over more important ones, often exploited when hackers use limited time or account expiring warnings.
Okay. Well, it's not listed on the slide for starters, so I might need a little bit more help. Let's go to like a poll the audience. Do we think which one of these answers do we think is most likely to be what Jessica just described for us? Is it scarcity bias, urgency bias, authority bias, or optimism bias? Which one sounds right? Ooh,
Got an answer
yeah,
for B.
good answer,
Thank you, Joseph.
Joseph. Yeah,
B.
okay.
Got
Awesome.
agreement.
All right. It is B, urgency bias. So what is urgency bias? This is a favorite tool for attackers because it shuts down the brain's analytical processing, right? When we feel rushed, we're more likely to make mistakes. We're more likely to act first and verify later. So this is something that attackers prey upon, right? So the result of this is the victim bypasses standard security processes and protocols like a simple verification, checking someone's email address to make sure that it's accurate to resolve this perceived crisis, whatever it is, right? A way to mitigate this, experts typically recommend using a pause and pivot method. So in most cases like this, even with extreme urgency, you likely have 30 seconds at least. So they recommend to pause for 30 seconds and try to request authentication through a different communication channel than what's coming in. We call this out of band authentication or UBA. And for example, if someone emails you about a crisis, you might Slack them to verify or call them. What you're not going to do is email back to that direct email, right? Because then the attacker can just say, yeah, I'm who I said I am. Of course I am. Uh, so an example of this, and I have a personal one actually. This happened, I think, a year ago. But been a scam going around my area where someone will call and pretend to be a police officer. And wouldn't you know it, somehow I was in contempt of court for missing jury duty. And so they have me on the phone. It's early in the morning. I've just woken up. I don't know what's going on. A police officer's on the phone, I think. And so they try and keep you on the phone. They threaten you as the police and attempt to get you to go wire money or pay the fee or the bond or whatever. But they don't bring it up first, right? They're trying to like get you to go to the police station or whatever, and they're threatening arrest. And there's all this urgency coming out of it. And so their goal is to keep you on the phone no matter what, so your brain doesn't get a chance to catch up and be like, this is suspicious. They're not going to give you a chance to think. And so that's what they're preying on, is this urgency bias.
Danielle is saying she got that call too.
It's scary, right?
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to make things a little bit harder now for our $600 category in brain trust. So here is the clue. Before launching an attack, hackers use this phase to gather publicly available data from social media, websites, and news releases to build a convincing narrative.
Awesome. So we can see here, we have an example. This is one of our personal characters that we're not going to get into now, but
I
they
have
are
them on the
posting.
screen though.
Oh,
It's
you
there's
do? Yeah.
stash right there.
There we go. They're posting about going to an international mustache conference. Awesome. And they're doing it on a public platform, and they've gotten an email about it, right? And so it's timely and specific. So the answer is, what is OSINT? This is open source intelligence. And this is data that's easily available on the internet or potentially other public sources, data brokers, stuff like that. And it allows social engineers to learn a lot about their targets to create well-crafted pretext, like we just talked about, and other kinds of specific attacks. So this is why it's so important to review your online settings, think about what you're sharing, and adjust those privacy settings. And even more so in the age of AI, hackers are using all these AI tools to scrape every piece of information that they can and build very sophisticated models of you, your organization, and allowing them to be very realistic. So OSINT, this allows them to gain extremely good information these days. So never assume that just because someone is making a claim and they seem to know a lot about you, your family, your organization, whatever it is, that they're legitimate without verifying.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
Next, we'll get into ishing, smishing, vishing, all the ishings, as we talk about all the channels that hackers use, whether it's using a wide net or a carefully crafted and targeted harpoon. Bad actors these days are always angling for your data. So let's see if you can spot the bait.
Who here has heard of anything other than phishing in the ishing category? Because vishing, smishing, they're all funny words. I didn't know about them at first. Yeah, you have? Okay, great. Awesome,
Yeah.
Joseph. Smishing, awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna get into all of those.
All right, so here we have ishing for 200. A social engineering attack where a scammer pretends to be a trusted entity to trick someone into sharing sensitive information or taking a harmful action against themselves. So we've all heard of this one, so you can be confident in your answer, I think.
Yeah, we did spoil it a little bit earlier. There we go. Thank you,
Yeah.
Joseph. This is phishing, correct? So I know we all kind of know what this is. Just as a refresher, traditional phishing, like we said earlier, is that throw against the wall shotgun approach. Uh, and in the age of AI, we're going to talk about something a little earlier of how attackers are using that OSINT information to do something called spear phishing, which is that highly targeted phishing approach. So, no longer can you really rely on heavily typoed emails and other things that were a little bit more obvious before, ChatGPT and all these other things came out. Most phishing emails these days they look pretty real. Grammar is pretty good. They're not misspelling words like they used to because they can just run everything through, ChatGPT. So they can look incredibly legitimate these days, and they can come in, incredibly timely because of that information that's out there on the internet, which is why it's so important to always verify, which we're gonna go over and over again, and especially verify out of band.
We're going to dive a little deeper here. So we're going to just look at this email and investigate the signs that show you by looking at it that it is a phishing scam. So we can go to the next slide.
Well, actually, let's see if anyone can point out something first. So this email is pretty old. There's a few things in here that you might not see these days. But can anyone point out something in this email that looks potentially suspicious? Bad email domain. That's great. Yeah, definitely a suspicious address for a Microsoft account. User. Awesome. Yeah, they probably would have your name if it's Microsoft. Let's see. Anything else obvious? There's not. Those are the two I was hoping for. Okay. Moving on. So absolutely right. Email address, that generic salutation, uh, the urgency that they're trying to put into the subject line. It's not necessarily uh, an indicator that it's phishing because as marketers, we can kind of all do that to get you to open the email. But it is something that should put you on your back foot. Awkward grammar in these instances, that's going away more and more, but still definitely an indicator if you do see it. And something that you couldn't see in the last slide, but if you were to hover over the link before clicking it, which is best practice, you can see where it's going. And if it's a weird address or not Microsoft, maybe we don't click it, right? This one, if you could see,
It's
it
a little
literally has
over the
IP.
top.
It literally
Yeah.
has IP stealer in it, and
Yeah.
all that. So it's not going to be that easy, but it is good to check.
All right. So now we are at ishing for 400. This type of scam targets specific individuals or roles.
All right. I think let's do another poll the audience. So answer choices are phishing, smishing, spear phishing, and pretexting. What do we think? Nice.
Joseph beats everyone to the buzzer again.
Yep, it is
Thank you for
spear
that.
phishing. All right. So, as I talked about a few minutes ago, spear phishing, like the name implies, it's regular phishing, or it's similar to regular phishing, but is where that is a wide net. This is very specific, where you're going after just one victim, and you're doing it in a highly targeted method with personalized information. So, often these attackers are using that OSINT open source information to identify specific relevant company or job information, personal interests, etc. Anything they can do to gain your trust. An example here could be a spear phishing email is sent to, let's say, a company's HR manager, and we'll call them Sarah. And it appears to have come from Sarah's executive director. And it could say something like, "Hi Sarah, I'm, running into a meeting right now and need you to send me the updated employee payroll file right away." And so this is spear phishing because they know Sarah's name, they know Sarah's organization, executive director, they're spoofing all of that to look real, and they're just assuming that Sarah sees this email, doesn't suspect anything is wrong, and potentially could send that information. So if you don't have a process built around that to stop that, Sarah could very well do this, and it's not her fault. It's just a very sophisticated tactic, and I think a lot of us here could potentially fall for something like that, and that's why it's so important, especially when sending information like that, to verify in a different method. Even if it is someone like your executive director or someone that you report to, they should understand that you're doing the right thing and taking a little bit longer to verify.
All right, now we have ishing for 600. This type of attack comes over text message.
All right. I think I saw someone mention this earlier on the various ishings. Any guesses? There we go. Awesome. Yes. What is SMS phishing, aka smishing, which is super fun to say. I recommend it. But anyway, why are text messages such a big threat vector? There's a couple of different reasons, but text messages tend to have really high open rates. And most of the time, it's getting better. They don't have the same spam filters and protections that an email would. Although I do think phone manufacturers and like Google, Apple, Samsung, they're getting better at this and putting more protections in place, especially these days. But it's still not as sophisticated as email spam filtering, right? Another reason links are often pretty short in text messages. They're not clear where they point to. You can't do that hover method, so you can just click on it. And another reason might be that phones can often contain sensitive company data. So I know I'm logged into my company email on my phone, and it tends to be less protected than your computer. So it's an ideal target of attack, right? Oh, I have a prop for
Oh,
this. I,
oh,
all
thank you,
right, I brought it
Justin.
out. We're good. Okay.
Super good. Super happy to see your Gandalf hat. All
Yes, always.
right. So keep it secret, keep it safe. From Gandalf level gatekeeping to the depths of digital hygiene, this category covers the tools and habits that keep the bad guys out of your accounts.
Love it.
And we are going to dive deeper to talk about the most common account security layer we all use, which I'm sure you can guess is
Passwords. So I'm not going to explain to you what a password is. Everyone has passwords. Everyone uses passwords. And on average, most people have at least 100 accounts that they access semi-regularly that have a password. And so obviously passwords are your first line of defense, and that's why it's important to talk about them and how to protect them. One of the number one ways to do that is a password manager. And why they're so important is because it's vital to use long, strong, and unique passwords for each account. That means no reusing, which I know I'm very guilty of occasionally, and I'm sure we all are, because it's so hard to remember. It's just human nature to reuse passwords, right? But the big benefit of these password managers is that you only have to remember one password, the one to get into the manager, right? And so the majority of these platforms have browser extensions that will autofill passwords for you, but and they'll also recommend longer and stronger passwords for your account so you don't have to remember them. So safe space. Who currently is using the same password more than once? Anybody want to Yeah, that's okay. Hopefully not for a bank account or an email account or something important, but that's all right. Okay. Next question.
So we're gonna have a poll here. What is the strongest password from this list? A shorter password with a bunch of random characters, letters, numbers, a little bit longer password, or what's it called, a passphrase. It's literally a sentence, and it's long, strong, unique. It has spaces included. And you can also remember it, which is handy. So that's the third one. So which ones are we going for? 1, 2, or
I have
3?
a number 2 in the chat. Anything else? 3, 1. Okay, awesome. This is good then. So it's technically number 3. And the really important thing to remember when it comes to passwords is that really length is what's important. So you can see here how long it would take to brute force these. And so because the first one was only 6 characters, even though it's nothing that we would recognize as humans as a recognizable phrase, it would only take 9 hours to crack. Going up in characters, the second one, obviously, 34,000 years is probably good enough. This is a fine password. But
Yes.
we like number 3. Yes, it is longer, so it would take longer to crack. But at the same time, this gets us into the realm of passphrases, which we like here at Roundtable. Passphrases are easy to remember for us as humans. Ideally, they're not going to be like, your dog's name and birthday and stuff like that. That would be easily guessable. It'd be random, but still easy to remember. Like, I like to eat donuts on Wednesdays. And something special that a lot of people don't even know that you can, in many accounts, use spaces. And so that makes it easier for us to remember because we're used to typing spaces. You're just typing a sentence out. And they're just another special character. So it adds to the length and the complexity.
Yep. So even though I use a password manager, I have some accounts like my email
Mhm.
where I have a passphrase because I have to type that in every 30 days. So
Well, and my
I
password
want to
manager
remember
password is
it.
definitely a passphrase. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. Uh, all right. I think we are getting a little low on time, so I'm going to jump around, Jessica.
Yeah, go for
Um,
it.
let's go. Let's do this one.
All right, keep it secret for 400. This security feature prevents 99.9% of all account compromises. Yep,
Ooh, great,
you
great
got it.
guess. Yes, two-factor or multi-factor authentication. So a lot of accounts these days, email, bank accounts, the really important ones, and some of the less important ones, are enforcing this. So I assume that most of us here have some experience with some kind of multi-factor authentication. But just for a refresher, this is where you need another thing in order to log in other than your password, right? So it could be a code texted to your phone. You can have an authenticator app on your phone or something like this hardware key that is in this GIF. This is a YubiKey. And so there are different levels to security when it comes to MFA. The one where it sends the message to your phone is probably the least secure. That can be intercepted or potentially stolen from you if someone gets your phone. And the most secure is what is here, this little YubiKey guy. And in order to log in, you need a physical hardware token that you would like press when it's prompted.
Yes.
But as Jessica mentioned on the last slide, according to Microsoft, MFA stops 99.9% of attacks because if they don't have that method, they can't get into your account.
So turn it on anywhere you can.
Yes, and especially for vital accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I think let's do one more, maybe two more. Let's do one more. All right, so we're switching categories at the moment, Jessica, but let's
Yes.
do this one.
Now we're in hook, line, and sinker for 400.
Yeah,
Unlike those seeking a payday, these individuals launch cyber attacks motivated by a political agenda, social change, or religious cause. So what?
awesome.
Go
I
ahead.
think I know this one. This is what is hacktivism. So hacktivists are bad actors, like Jessica said. The fish puns, yes. They are driven by political, social, religious, or moral purposes. And, as nonprofits, depending on your mission, of course, many are obviously more likely to fall victim to kind of this realm of cyber attack. And so hacktivism, it could include like doxing personal identifying information online. So that's, real names, addresses, personal photographs, stuff like that in order to harm an organization or an agenda. It could be a distributed denial of service or DDoS attack where they flood website servers with so much traffic that it shuts it down. Typically during like if you're doing a big fundraising event and you're taking donations on your website and they do a DDoS attack, shuts it down, and you would lose money, right? And then another method would be if they gain access to your website somehow, they could hurt your reputation. They could deface it. They could redirect your website to something else to steal information from people. There's a lot of different things that they could do. So just quickly, as you see this continuum here, the hacktivism side is really like that single user that is a bad actor that's trying to advance their own political or social agenda. On the other side, in a similar realm, but are like the nation state bad actors that are, they're trying to harm organizations or other nations as an actual war. So hopefully not on that side, hopefully not on any side, but kind of the continuum that you can see here. All right, I got one more, I think, before we get into Q&A. Let's do this one, Jessica.
All right. This category is what the what?
What the
For
what?
200. These AI generated videos use face swapping technology to make it look and sound like a real person is saying something they never actually said.
Very nice,
Yes.
Danielle. Let's. Oop, hold on.
I'm not hearing the sound.
That's okay. Um,
We can explain
I
it.
didn't share sound, but either way, that was a news video. That was a deep fake. A very good one. And these have gotten just so incredibly sophisticated. We actually had a different video on here that was from a couple of years ago, and it was atrocious compared to this. This one, you can't tell, right? Other than the fact that why is a shark right next, and she's not freaking out. Yes, whoever said deepfakes, you're absolutely right. Deepfakes. And with the advent of Sora, AI, all this other stuff, they get incredibly sophisticated, incredibly good. Uh, and so it's combining multiple techniques that we've talked about to produce this sophisticated social engineering attack that is extremely believable, right? A personal example, my mother a few months ago got a phone call at 2 a.m. from me, asking for money for, I was in jail or whatever it was. Sounds exactly like me, right? I was not in jail at 2 a.m. I was fast asleep. But luckily her phone, she has a Google phone. After about 30 seconds of this person trying to convince her that I'm in trouble and acting as me, her phone comes up and is like, "Hey, this is fake," you know? So we do have some protections against this. They're not always accurate and you can't count on them, but that was a scary moment for her, right? These are getting good. So what she should have done, even if her phone didn't do that, was potentially get the information if she believes it, right? But then hang up and either call me on my actual number, or go get me, or try and verify in a method that was not the same phone number that called her, right? So they are getting scary. Okay, so just to wrap it all up before we get to a little bit of Q&A, we showed you some very scary outcomes. I ended on the scariest one of all, probably, but there's a lot you can do to help prevent these. And just as a reminder, the number one is probably going to be multi-factor authentication on all your accounts, right? Password manager is important. Verify out of band, and awareness training, what we're doing right now, especially for the rest of your staff, and frequently to just keep it on your mind is another extremely important thing to be focused on. All right. Just real quick, we do have a weekly cybersecurity tips and tricks newsletter if you want to sign up at roundtabletechnology.com/cybertips. But I won't leave that too long. I want to get to some questions if anyone has any. So feel free to come off mute and ask us anything.
And while you're thinking, Joseph brought up something right at the end, which is having a family password or an
Yes.
organizational password. So this passphrase can be something that you could share out of band when you're trying to verify if your executive director has actually asked you to do something or not. If they give you the right phrase, then
The
it's
code word, yeah.
confirmed. The code word, then it's confirmed. My family actually, we made this up like jokingly 10, 15 years ago for when the aliens landed. So we had this in
You already had
place
it.
already. But now unfortunately we have to actually use it.
Well, and it sounds a little silly, right? But it like the deep fake that we just talked about, that would stop it in its tracks. The deep fake is not going to know the code phrase, so it's not silly. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone
Thanks
have a question?
everyone.
Yeah.
So happy you're here. It's great to meet you and spend a little time with you on a Friday morning.
Yes.
Emma has shared that she's gonna have an email go out. So you'll have a link to the recording. If anyone you want to share it with your organization, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. All
Thank
I'll
right.
hand it over to you, Emma.
you
Back
for
to you.
an excellent presentation. It was a lot more fun this way to learn about things, considering I unfortunately did not know most of the answers. So it felt less shameful than watching one of those mandatory cybersecurity videos, which I really appreciated.
That's great. That's great feedback. That we love that.
We
Yeah.
do. And I not to pitch our cyber tips or whatever, but they are tater and stash themed, which is cybersecurity potato and a mustachioed cowboy because we try and make it fun.
Yeah,
But
they're on my screen, these
yeah.
two characters. So yes,
Oh,
we have
well,
some homegrown cybersecurity awareness training videos featuring Tater and Stash.
Yeah. It's hard to make it fun, but we try.
I remember being like a little bit younger and doing those shoot, I forgot what it was. It was the Tim and the Robot videos on online, and they would teach you about, like potty mouth feet, and they had all of these names for things that
Yeah.
were online. Um, and I love experiences that bring me back to
A little
being,
nostalgia, right? Yeah.
yeah, yes, yes, yes. But yes, thank you very much. I will be sending out the link to the recording for this video. And if you have any additional questions, you can shoot them to me at center@njnonprofits.org. Or you can reach out directly to either Jessica or Justin. I'm sure they'd be very happy to answer your question.